Good afternoon, Speed Gaming 3, and welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race. Today we have Casual Boots. We are highlighting two of our runners. We've got Technolink and Vortex of Doom. There are, of course, a total of 10 runners. My name is Radical Sniper 99, and today I'm joined by Star 1468. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing excellent. So, we've got Casual Boots. So if you're unfamiliar with the mode, we start with the sword, we start with boots. And then we go do standard, start, rescue Zelda, and from there it's just a 7-7.
Yep. So the casual part is the standard assured sword start, and, well, boots are explanatory.
Yep. So our runners are definitely going to be trying to find those right lines throughout all the rooms. I know I've run with Vortex quite a bit, and I can tell you his thoughts on the timing is, roughly about a 5:20, 5:30 escape. So you'll see some immediate time saves.
Yep. The runners starting here about 6 seconds apart as we see a red rupee in Link's house. Oh, audio is just really quiet. I was wondering if I was hearing anything.
Yeah, the neat thing about this boot start always is this is only a casual boots thing, but you can actually dash through bushes. So you don't see the sword until you get to the uncle, but you still are able to dash through bushes even though you don't have a sword, quote unquote.
Yep. Looks like our runners are synced now. We have ourselves a Dragon Knight sprite on the left, and is that the Link's Awakening? Is that one of the Link's Awakening? Is that Link's Awakening?
That is Link's Awakening Link.
Nice. As we see a hookshot there in the uncle chest, not bad.
I believe specifically if you want to use that sprite, it's called the GBC Link. Although technically Link's Awakening came out before Game Boy Color. But
I think it's the LADX variant then, because the original Link's Awakening was black and white, and that looks to be the Link's Awakening DX, we did a re-release for the Game Boy Color, which was, well, in color. Not exactly rocket science.
And so yes, we did get that hookshot early, which is nice.
Yep. And yeah, this sword is a little comically giant on Link's Awakening.
Well, that's one of the interesting things. You talk to a lot of people who run, and the Link's sprite is a decent one. As we did see a bomb off that green guard, so guards are in the bomb pack. Not that we need them. Just start with the boots.
There's the small key.
A lot of runners will tell you like they run with one sprite because that's the one they've learned. That's how they learned all their tricks. You want to learn like Ice Palace Bomb Jump, Parapod,
Diver
Down, Hammer Up. Realistically, you want to learn those using something more like the Shadow since it's consistent. But sometimes, you learn multiple sprites, so you learn with the Shadow, and that works better.
Yep. But it's generally, as long as you pick one sprite, it helps less, since a lot of these are fairly pixel perfect, and different sprites naturally have different layouts, and the pixel positioning ends up looking different for different ones.
Yeah, like Diver Down, I originally learned using Link's head, and then I was like, no, time to learn the Shadow, because then I can use any sprite I want.
Yep, because the shadows are more consistent than the rest of the sprite. Like, you can see the Dragon Knight is a decent bit taller than Link over here.
I will say one of the advantages to a short sprite, though, is you get a better feel for the hitbox of Link sometimes, or of your sprite, as well as the hammer hitbox.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons, and some of it's just personal preference. I love seeing different sprites. I actually don't think I've seen the Link's Awakening sprite yet. The Dragon Knight one I've seen quite a few times. It's pretty neat. I know, one of the coolest things I like to see with different male sprites is what the male upgrades do. So Dragonite, I know, becomes shiny, in other words, green for blue mail, and I actually don't remember the red mail sprite off the top of my head for Dragonite. I assume for Vortex, it's just going to be a color change.
Yeah.
Bunny sprites too, if you get the chance to see them. Unfortunately, those are a little less common.
So Vortex took a really good strategy here. You saw Technolink kind of go for some bombs earlier, whereas Vortex wasn't doing that at all. And what he instead did was hookshotted a bunch of those snakes in the hallway and just was able to get up to 7 bombs in that one room alone.
Yep. All right, there's a map, by the way, in Dark Cross, so we will be seeing 3 items in the back and 1 more in the Sanctuary. Yeah, I believe, I know that Dragonite's bunny sprite is a Dratini, the first form of that evolutionary line. I don't have the slightest idea what Link's Awakening
Link's
link would have.
Awakening is the Pole's Voice
Oh, neat.
sprite. So it was one of the enemy sprites from Link's Awakening.
I am aware of the enemy, I just didn't know that's what the bunny sprite was.
Yeah, I believe that was the enemy that they originally intended to have like a microphone with the game. And you
Yes,
were
in
supposed to
Zelda
kill it
1,
with
actually.
voice. Yeah.
Yep, that because the Famicom, the Japanese version of the NES, doesn't have, in fact, have a built-in microphone. Uh, in in the US version, that you for like the NES version, I believe you use a recorder instead. Absolutely nothing in Escape besides that hookshot, by the way, which is why we've been going off on tangents.
So we did have a 522 escape from Vortex and about a 536 or so from Technolink. So already the boots are showing off their value here. We did get plenty of bombs. Vortex has it exiting with 10, Technolink exiting with 6, and we got more bombs out of Bonkrock. So we are just super well situated for doing all those checks.
Yep, we're about to see the lumberjack ledge here, much faster with boots. And more common since you do have boots rather than having to make a choice. Do you want to run all the way up?
Yeah, a lot of runners will say, I'm not going to check this, especially in like basic open modes. But as soon as you get the boots, this really is your best chance to check it. So I don't disagree with the idea of Vortex doing that, and it's just a heart container today.
Yep, so Technolink skipping that, not going to hurt. Doesn't mean it's not a Naga seed still, but at least it's not for the lumberjack ledge. Could still be Aga access for the Dark World, for Aga for Dark World access. And I had last week rolled a challenge cup seed, where the runners had the misfortune of being forced to do Aga to get the Pyramid Fairy access for their hammer.
That's always a fun one.
Yep, hour 17 hammer, anyone? The runners weren't particularly amused.
And actually, we're seeing it's a very interesting piece here. Oh, okay. So this one's really neat. Vortex setting up for a water walk there. So I do know that some runners have changed up their casual boots routing. This is a newer route. I'm going to take this portal here. So,
and go over to here instead.
Yeah, straight over to Ice Rod Cave. Is going to do another water walk out of Ice Rod Cave. And this is really just going to be all these water checks. See if maybe we can get one kind of item, whether that's a bottle or a flute, before actually heading into Kakariko proper. As we do see a Master Sword out of Blind's hut.
Yep. And, well, there's a bottle in Blind's hut and nothing in Ice Rod Cave.
So yes, the way it works is you're pretty much just, it's a dash similar to what you see in Ice Rod Cave. And it does set up that state. You can actually set up the same glitch in Skull Woods as well. If you don't feel comfortable learning the current jump to get over to East Dark World, a lot of runners actually do know that variant of using the Skull Woods pit as another way to set up a water walk.
I'm not especially familiar with water walks myself, so good education as I see the Cane of Burna in the Waterfall Fairy and a shovel in the well.
Now that's actually going to be interesting for Technolink, because I believe Vortex is a route coming out of, so he's going to do Hobo and Hylia Island, but after this, he will likely be heading up towards Kakariko, and it'll probably come from the south route. So he'll have to go back to south to get the dig spot then.
Yep. As we also did see a oh, there's Glove and a Moon Pearl, by the way, on the puddle vendor. So we're getting close to the Dark World access at this point.
I was gonna say, I think the big question here is, will we see? If we see Lamp, I'm still thinking this could be Aga. This is a nice little kit for Dark World access to start a seed. Glove and Hookshot gives us a lot of access of West Dark World.
It does. It's just a hurt piece there. Yeah, Stackerico is decent. Stackerico pretty stacked today. Let's see if these couple south checks are any use. Oh, there's a second bottle. I might as well just pick it up since you have boots in the library. There's our third sword in the
Wow.
Golden Cave. And a fire rod. Green, sometimes I decide. And also a green 20, replacing either the sword or the boots they started with. Map check. Eastern green pendant on Desert, Crystal Hera. I completely missed Eastern. Oh, that was the ice rod. Thank you. I'm bad at telling the two apart sometimes.
I think that was also a regular pendant on Eastern Palace. So.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
Starting to get
Nothing
some
on
money.
the shovel spot.
So this route might work out nicely for Technolink, heading probably over to Mini Moldorm and Ice Rod Cave. Might be seeing a Zora check soon.
Might. This Vortex did pick up a fair bit of money. There's the Bloomerang, okay. And it's gonna go charge on off to Aga. More runners lately have been doing this, where they run off to Mini Moldorm Cave and then head back to the dam in Agina. Also, why say Agina? Brain. There's Quake on the desert ledge.
Well, and realistically, it's a really smart route from Vortex, having done Ice Rod Cave and those flipper checks. He's going to just be able to, he's not skipping Ice Rod Cave, but he's also hitting all the other locations here.
Yep. Helps to avoid orphaning any checks, because it's easy to orphan Ice Rod Cave or Agina. Agina is just a hurt piece today. And boots also help so much with the movement rather than walking everywhere through the overworld. And confirm a regular pendant on Eastern and the regular crystal on Hera. From Techno.
Yeah, I believe we're seeing this some with the currently running mentor tournament as well, is that there's actually this opening sword. There's been a feeling that it almost gives a higher chance of having these Aga seeds because you already have a piece towards that puzzle.
Yep. This is gonna be a Death Mountain trip, it looks like, for Techno. Actually, actually no, that might be money for the back of his, for Zora, come to think of it.
Yeah, you're right. It looks like we are getting the Houlihan play now from Technolink.
Yep, that's a Houlihan. I was like, is he going maybe for the mountain with the glove and hookshot? But now this is gonna be Zora.
I think a Death Mountain play will actually be really sensible at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if we see one from Vortex right after this.
I wouldn't either, honestly. They have a glove, they have a hookshot. Neither of them care about the fact they don't have a lamp. In fact, it might save them from having to do Haga.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we've got Sahasra left and Zora.
Saha, Zora, and Eastern. Some number of checks in Eastern.
I mean, Pendant Eastern's not the worst. I think a lot of runners might say, hey, the fact that it's a pendant, I don't mind dipping it for a non-clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are starting to gradually run out of checks. Techno is also set for money for the seed.
But I do think because you know that if it's an Agaseed, you need to see lamp anyway, you would very much be incentivized to go up the mountain. Like those are checks you're gonna make before doing Aga.
Yeah. Technically setting up a water lock.
Yeah, just going for straight up fake flipper here instead of the water walk. So
I think he was trying to just set up one out of many Moldorm Cave, but didn't quite manage it, and so is just going the regular old water walk instead.
yeah, there is a way. Actually, you're right. If you set up the water walk out, which you don't actually use the water walk. The idea is that you store the water walk. So you perform that dash out of the cave, and then you perform a fake flipper, and then when you jump down off of a ledge, you actually are in the water walk state. And yeah, so Technolink did try to get it for that moment. Unfortunately, did lose it. I believe you do have to actually get that fake flipper on the first attempt. So the fact that Technolink jumped into the water for that fake flipper and didn't hit it first time meant that he lost the water walk state.
It's just rather unfortunate. You'll have to check Zora, though, which Vortex is not able to due to a lack of money. I'm gonna go over to... Nope, just gonna skip Ice Arcade and head straight for Zora. And check confirming that, yeah, you need a fake flipper first try. Okay. No, this is Ice Arcade. I have a Oh no, that feels bad. Technolink getting hit by something or another in the fake flipper state, and that's a death.
Yeah, Vortex heading over to Saha and Eastern Palace area. Meanwhile, Technolink is going to return for Ice Rod Cave and those fake flipper checks. I'm surprised neither runner is going directly for the mountain, but I think, you know, it's a defendable play. You are looking to see what kind of mountain access you're going to get first.
Yep. Let's see. Well, really, Gabe? Really? Gold
Okay.
in Saha's hat.
And it's not an Agaseed.
Sure. 16 minutes in, we have all 4 swords and we have Darkhold access with those mates. Game? Immediate King's Tomb check here from Vortex.
Yeah, there's no real more convenient time to go do this.
Not really, no. Gonna do this and then run off to CAC to go to the Dark World. Yeah, no combat difficulties here, not with Gold Sword, before you even set foot in a dungeon. Okay, Vortex now checking the Lumberjack Ledge as Techno gets his burn out. Oh no, just gonna head straight up the mountain. Okay, I might have gone to Dark World first before the mountain, but here Vortex goes. Gonna set the Sneak Warp.
Yeah, this is a good play. I mean, we're going to have a lot of checks here. Can't get into Hera without either the Mirror or the Hammer. But between Light and Dark Death Mountain, there's just so many checks here right now.
That is true. Forgot how many checks the mids open up, especially because we also have that hook shot. Alright, what does Zora have today? Oh, okay! That's a bow!
Yeah,
wow.
Now that's a huge find for Technolink.
Vortex has effectively orphaned that check due to not having the money at the time of going to Zora. And we'll see when that bow shows the other bow is. Yeah, Techno's going to sprint off to Saha's hut now and pick up Mitts and Gold Sword. $100 on top of Spectacle Rock. No, that was our first bow work on. That is, in fact, in logic with gloves.
Yeah, well, definitely for Vortex, you're definitely hoping to see that other bow be not GT or locked behind that first bow.
Mm-hmm.
And it does look like Technolink's going to take that bow and just go for Eastern Palace at this point.
You're right here. I can't entirely fault him, as we see nothing in the first two checks of Paradox. And the top five, the five chests here in Paradox have a third bottle. That's it.
Yeah. Some rupees in a bottle. That's, And Vortex, oh, looking to do a hover. I was surprised by that. I know he knows the bomb jump, so maybe just trying to have a fun time with this one, so.
Yeah, not getting it, unfortunately, as Techno here is finding a map and a red rupee in the first two chests of Eastern.
So Vortex will be doing a floating island check before going down Spiral Cave and then heading back up or not back up, but we'll take that portal down at the bottom for Dark Death Mountain.
Correct. Spiral Cave, just some more money.
And actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Spike Cave. Oh wait, no hammer. Sorry.
Nope, no hammer. There was the compass in Eastern, which means that Armos Knights and the Big Heat Chest both have items. Hi, book in Spiral Cave. Well, at least one of them. There's at least a. Yeah, no, we haven't seen the Big Key. So the Big Key is vanilla in Eastern, and there are two other items which are lamp locked. Rather unfortunate item layout for Pendant Eastern. You wish that the dungeon items were in the back so you could get out of here quickly, but no such luck today for Techno.
Gonna get a couple of heart refills before heading in. As we are going to get those Super Bunny Cave checks.
Art container and bombs as Techno finds $300 in the big chest of Eastern.
And unfortunately, so far, all of these checks have really not paid out. I mean, I think the only thing we really got was the book.
Yeah, effectively. Pendant Pod, Red Crystals on Swamp and TR. With that Pod and Eastern both being pendants, and Eastern so far being a real snooze, that bow might not be a huge issue for Vortex. As you see, it's just it's ether for TR today.
Yeah, and I believe Vortex does know how to mimic clips, so even a GT climb would not be a problem if the bow is not required for any of our other dungeons.
Yeah, it's entirely possible, because Eastern does have an item on Armos Knights, which is bow locked. We'll see if it's actually anything of note, as Hookshot Cave was a bust. The Mountain had a book. That's it.
It was a good play, it just really didn't pay out, and so I'm guessing, it looks like Village of Outcasts is our play.
I think so, as welcome in Speed Gaming rating with a party of 186. We've got ourselves here the Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race. We are featuring Technolink and Vortex of Doom on a casual boot seed where they have all four swords. They got all four swords 16 minutes in. And, well, Technolink is clearing out Pendant Eastern for what looks to be not much. Not much, having gotten a bow off Zora. And Vortex just cleared up the mountain for not much.
Yeah, unfortunately, both of those plays, while understandable, just never helped.
Nope. Yeah, book is desert access, but it's a pendant. There is a quake on the desert ledge. We don't know if that's useful, and we don't have a lamp or fire rod to complete desert. for that
Yeah,
green pendant.
that third item out of Desert Palace is just going to linger and probably not enter either runner's mind until you get at least some kind of fire source.
Yeah. I don't think if these runners do go to desert, it will not be until they find a fire source. Techno is gonna check King's Doom now. Vanilla Big Key in Skull Woods, okay.
Vortex waiting for that Wallmaster to help return to the front again.
Yeah, we got a lot of items early, but now it's just kind of died down. We're just not finding a whole lot of anything notable here right now. Fire source in desert would be mean.
There's two of them, you know, we can wait. We'll find a different one.
Mm-hmm. Vortex, I think, was trying to open the door and then realized, oh wait, I don't have a key. And
Yeah, and then he also realized he didn't have the health to do the bomb jump over to the big chest, so taking that free refill.
Whoopsies. And takes a fall. There we go. Third time's the charm. And there's the small key. Techno's gonna go up the mountain and find the spectacular amount of nothing, as we see a map there for Vortex. And it looks like there's a good chance that both items in Skull Woods are in the back, as we see yet another key.
We've still got a chance. Bumper room might pay off.
Maybe. Well, that's something, logically.
It's required.
Yeah. Eventually. Doesn't do much for now, though, since they've already done the water checks. And Mirror is nowhere to be seen. Nor is the hammer. Alright. Bumper Legend coming for Vortex. Just some bombs, alright.
So we got enough invincibility items with just Arcane.
And I don't think that death was intentional for Techno.
The mountain is a dangerous place.
Okay, we've hit bottle percent. Sure.
Bottles and swords. Can we get shields? Can we get
We
both
have two of
boomerangs? I don't
those.
know.
We have two shields and one boomerang, so we're getting repeats galore. It's just not the items the runners would actually like to see. Chess game has more junk.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the very early, like, most limiting items is that hammer. So, you know, both of our runners really hoping to see that soon.
Absolutely. As well, that's Ether, which will eventually give them Turtle Rock access once they can find a cane.
And Vortex is going to head into Thieves Town at this point. We'll see how much he does. It is a crystal to clear, but without the hammer, we might not see the back. So there's the guaranteed big key. Now there's still those 3 other chests here. I think there's going to be a calculation for Vortex here of, you know, how many items do I get, and does that make me want to gamble that the big chest is nothing?
Alright, there's a map in the second chest, so the odds of something being in the big chest is going up by the check. Yeah, so as with the flippers, the ether is just another item that we're gonna need later. Just absolutely not helpful right now, as you see a heart piece and some bombs to round out the front.
So we're going to see, is it going to be a death warp? No,
Yeah,
Vortex is going for the... Oh, wait.
Oh, nope, that is
Inadvertently killed the Zizak.
Alright. Book incoming for Techno. We're going to see Dig Game here for Vortex.
Probably a pickup of Jeremiah soon after, and I anticipate this leading to at least some bit of Froggy World Tour.
I would probably assume so, yes. Pick up the Frog, do Stumpy, do Hype Cave. Maybe do Pyramid. No, they can't do Pyramid Legends coming from that direction.
No, we could actually get the Pyramid Ledge and Quakefish with those flippers. It's in logic to head
Oh,
the
wait,
rest
no,
of
I
the way
forgot
there.
that. I'm a scatterbrain. Flippers, right, thank you.
Yep. I don't know if Vortex is going to want to do it, but it's definitely something some runners will consider. In terms of the question in chat about the Link to the Past Randomizer main tourney, it is still going, but we are getting towards the semifinals and the finals, and thus there are less matches per day.
Yep, there's a heart piece off Stumpy, continued amount of not progression. Reminder, can our checker please mark off the crystals and pendants in Dark World? It's Pendant Pod, and I've entirely forgotten what our red crystals are TR and Swamp. So if that could be updated, thank you. Alright, is Hype Cave actually hype? Well, I'd call that Fire Rod useful. Other than that, absolute junk, but I'll take that Fire Rod. That is both Skullwood's completion and Ice Palace completion here.
Well, Ice Palace entry.
Oh, entry, sorry. Don't have
But
a
that
hammer.
is
I'm a
desert
scatterbrain.
completion.
And is also desert completion, which is a bit concerning.
And access to our Quake Medallion.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we had access,
no,
but...
we had access with a book. They just didn't want to go there without a fire source.
And honestly, just the Fire Rod is enough to call it a hype cave.
Yeah. Especially with both Skullwoods and Ice Palace being crystals, you want that. Red Rupee on Smiths.
Oh, and here's an interesting play from Technolink. We are getting a pedestal check.
Oh my, this is interesting. Just pocket change, alright.
And honestly, I have to agree, you know, no surprise there. I know, you know, chat would prefer to see a ped seed, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah. And since Techno already full cleared Pendant Eastern for absolutely nothing, you really do want to know how much of a time did you waste there. As it turns out, unfortunately, a fair bit. Vortex is gonna go do Skull Woods now.
Yeah, and we do know that there is still one item in Skull, and we know it's on the Moth. I believe we found 2 of our small keys so far in Skull Woods.
I think so.
So we know that the chest under the bridge will have to be a small key.
And yep, Vortex is running straight for the back.
Yep. I mean, even if that was the second item, or there was a chance of it, still wouldn't want to. You'd still kill the Moth first.
Yep. This way you know for sure. This way you can just skip. You need to do the Moth in any case, but whether or not you need to do this bridge chest is definitely variable. Techno's clearing out the village of outcasts, which we know has ether and else.
Yeah, so both of our runners do have that ether medallion at this point.
Ooh, okay. Vortex getting little trolled by Mothula using his red potion. Smart choice.
Yeah, I know Vortex has been working to get the poke dash strats on the Moth. So really was trying to push for that one. I know he really is a runner who puts a lot of time into trying to learn new tech and, being willing to take those risks in races, especially, in a daily here. So definitely doing a riskier fight there, and risking the death, but still gets the crystal. So there's our first crystal at just over 34 minutes.
Yep, and just a red rupee there on Moculus, so flippers, which give us Ice Palace entry. Not sure how much Vortex wants to do Ice Palace without a hammer or cane, honestly, but it is an option. Yeah, first crystal took more than twice as long as Gold Sword. Correct, because we got the Gold Sword in about 16 minutes.
So Vortex is heading back into Village of Outcasts. I don't know, is this going to be this might be a Thieves Town clear now.
I think so, because you're starting to run out of things to do at this point.
Yeah, and unfortunately, without that bow off of Zora, Vortex probably is going to be less incentivized to even check out Palace of Darkness at this point. He does have a potion, so he could bottle glitch the rest of the, even if it's bow locked. But I think in his mind right now, without knowing where that bow is, he's just saying, this is at least a crystal, I'll clear it, and I'm hoping that I find the 2 items.
Yep. Versus Pod, which is out of logic to him, and a pendant. It doesn't have a bow, doesn't have a lamp. You don't really want to do Pod in this situation. Fire Rod is in Hype Cave, flippers are in the front of Skullwoods. So Techno's going to get that Fire Rod soon, and his Fire Rod will send him to his flippers, so I'm not too concerned about it. Unfortunately, that Skullwoods layout with flippers in the pinball chest and fire and the second item on Mothula means you basically just end up full clearing the place, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, we'll definitely see a full Skullwood. So there was really no way to route that dungeon better, I guess, in a sense.
No, Techno in particular is likely to rush the back of Skullwood, since if both items are there, you save time and will clear the bridge chest on top of clearing all of the front, looking for that second item on Pinball.
Exactly.
Which is, yeah, that's pretty much about as ugly a Skullwood's layout as you can get.
So here we go with that moment of truth for Vortex in a sense. Are we going to get the small key here? And we don't. So while the dungeon itself is hammer locked, there is no item that's hammer locked.
Nope. And they really don't care about logic here. Not for that. Alright, Techno's about to get the load of nothing off Smiths. And Vortex will be getting a second crystal here in a minute or so.
Yeah, and I believe this will turn into a desert and purple chest play for him.
Most likely, yes. With that bow and with that fire rod, for that matter, Techno is perhaps going to be more likely to perhaps go to Pod over, perhaps over Desert. Though that's a tough choice because you know your Quake is there, but you don't know if Quake is required. And that's Vortex's second crystal there at the 38-minute mark. Yep, this is purple chest pickup. And yeah, as expected, Techno gonna run straight for the back of Skullwood, so he's going to do even more than Vortex. Just little things. Just Skullwood's layout is not friendly.
And here we go with that purple chest check. Unfortunately, with the purple chest, you cannot run with it. And since we don't have a mirror, we can't do the trick or the glitch with that one. But I think this route is just going to lend itself nicely to a checking of desert.
Yeah, it does. Pretty decent routing here. Purple chest, just a hurt piece. And yep, time for desert.
Yep. That's the thing, you know, we would say, oh, nobody likes to do mirrorless purple chest, but in this case, like, there's just, you know, I think all runners have been kind of burned by a mirrorless purple chest having mirror.
Yeah, I've seen a mirrorless Smiths having mirror early, not fairly recently. That felt worse in some ways because it feels bad to go to the frog all the way around and then just find the mirror because the mirror takes the frog from being a world tour to very, very quick. So never check is a whole lot of fun in any case. Vortex picking up a red rupee off the first chest in desert. Good thing they started with boots. And Vortex is actually going to run right to the back.
Yeah, this is a very common play. We've seen it a lot. If you've been watching much of the main tourney, we've actually seen this play a lot. We got one item already out of Desert Palace and the big key. So Vortex is hoping the second item is going to be on Landmo, and then he doesn't even have to check right side.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. I forgot. For some reason, forgot that we saw the first item already. Techno indeed checking the bridge chest. Has to walk all the way back out to, or take a death warp here due to not having a mirror. Where is that mirror anyway?
Yeah, we're still looking for pretty much every item in the game.
Yeah, we have all the swords, we have all the bottles, we have two of the shields, but we are still missing quite a few items.
Yeah, I wonder if either runner, especially Vortex in this case, I know he's got a bit of a... He's cleared about a little less just because of the fact that he didn't do the Eastern play, but in terms of crystals, he definitely has an advantage at this point. You know, does he do a mirrorless or a hammerless ice palace possibly?
It is an option at this point. Is that bow, and he might not be as inclined to go dependent pod. I mean, it's bowless pod. Oh goodness gracious, that's the mushroom on Lamos. Or do you do hammerless ice?
Yeah, and that's the thing at this, you know, that's why we're talking about the whole idea of doing Landmo first.
Yep. Because that's second item, and you don't need to touch the right side. Yeah, we can't even get into Hera. We can't get into Swamp. We
We can't
can't.
check our tablets even.
No, we can't do anything in TR without a cane. We don't have a flute for Meyer. So we are looking at Pendant Dungeon. We are looking at Pendant Pod versus Hammerless Ice. We have seen the Gina from both runners. It was nothing.
Now, the interesting question here is, does Vortex take this mushroom? Actually, I think I know what we're going to see. We're probably going to see a save scum of that mushroom. But does Vortex decide to also check the Zora area?
Mm-hmm.
This is
He's
like
already...
the most convenient time for him to still go back to Zora.
It is, but I don't know if he will as we see just bombs on the mushroom.
And he does pick them up, so this tells me we might be getting... Yep, we're going to get a Zora check, so this will pay out with Vortex.
Yeah, so this is, I think at this point, with now that he's about to get his bow, it's still a tough choice, honestly, between pendant pod versus hammerless ice, because pod has more items, but is also a pendant versus ice is a crystal, but without a cane, it's a lot slower, and without a hammer, you can't finish it, which is a tough choice to make there. We'll see where Techno goes next. Okay, bumper ledge check. No, did that already. The catfish here is what Techno's doing, as Vortex picks up his bow.
Yeah, and I think for Techno, this could be an eventual play to also do Quakefish into Pyramid to Pod.
That I think would make the most sense of this routing, yes. Does mean that Graveyard Ledge will be orphaned for the next while. Having already done every other check in the area, checked Bumper Ledge, done Catfish, done even King's Tomb.
Now, the fact that Vortex is heading towards this Village of Outcasts portal says I think Vortex is going to make the same exact call at this point.
I think so. This also looks like a pod play because it is more potentially accessible items compared to hammerless, caneless ice, which is not the most appealing. I mean, I could see runners going for either play at this point in time with these items.
I think if you were feeling like you needed to gamble, then we would probably see the Ice Palace play. But at this point, I'm not surprised that both runners are saying pod.
Now, if Vortex hadn't picked up the bow, I think he might have been a little more inclined to go to ice, but nope.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing from chat. We did not get that green pendant turn in.
Nope.
And usually one of the things you'll hear from a lot of runners, is if you spent the time to pick up green pendant, you almost want to prioritize that turn in.
Yeah, you do. Techno seeing just some money on the Pyramid Ledge. And alright, what do you think is going to be in pod, if anything?
Just because of how little we actually have right now, I'm hoping hammer.
Yeah, honestly, same. Mirror would be fun. Could see, well, the flute might do something that would give us Mire area access, though with limited use potentially. Kane would give us, no, still can't get into Turtle Rock without hammer is the other thing. Even if it did find a cane. Yeah, we're limited on items.
Yeah, we're missing the biggest one, of course, is that hammer. And unfortunately, that's just part of these kinds of seeds. You feel great getting Dark World access and avoiding Aga, but you always worry, like, where is that hammer? Because it is one of the more limiting pieces to playing Link to the Past.
It is, as we see the red meringue in the first chest of pod completes boomerang percent. We now have all shield. We are just missing a shield for everything of all the copies, more or less. Because we already have all 4 bottles. We had all 4 swords since 16 minutes in. We just saw, and we have all, and now we have both boomerangs. We also have quite a lot of fetch quests, just missing the powder. So we're getting all the unnecessary items. The necessary items, on the other hand, well.
Unnecessary? What do you mean? Don't you need both boomerangs? To forever spark the debate of which boomerang is best boomerang?
Oh, there was a Cane of Samari on the right side of pod, which, gonna be useful later, just not right now. Can't get into Turtle Rock, can't get into Mire, you really can't use that cane right now. It will be useful later, but not now.
Well, I will say there's one strategy that a lot of people will consider having that cane is actually, do you still ice break Ice Palace?
That's a good question, actually, because they still don't have a hammer.
The only worry there, of course, is if it's you don't get a small key and thus get locked on the hammerlock side.
Yeah. Alright, Techno getting a key on the bridge chest means he's heading straight for the back since he has seen both 2 non-key, small key items in the front, the Red Meringue and the King of Samaria, so time for the back. Because they're game does guarantee at least 4 small keys in the front of pod every single time, and he knows where those 4 are. Because he's gotten both of the non-small key items. There's the big key. And the map. Vortex gonna Death Warp, having picked up a different small key there. Oh wait, no, yeah, I'm gonna pick up the Brit chest key as well. I can't count for some reason. Alright. Oh, that would be rude. Spyweaver in chat theorizing rest of pod empty with flute and ice and hammer and wire. That would be something, alright.
I mean, we do have almost a full Meyer kit, and the fact that we've got 2 out of our 3 medallions does not leave that as a, leave that out. I would not be surprised. I think the interesting piece here also is we don't have the lamp either.
No, we don't. So what Techno is currently doing is very out of logic. I remember seeing what the top chest of the maze was, but the bottom chest was a red rupee, as was the big chest. Wow.
I think we're down to it. Is this hammerless ice?
Yes, this is hammerless ice, everyone. Because that cane doesn't give us any other progression. Where's Techno going, though?
I think this is going to be a Thieves Town clear. Definitely will feel better being able to get that crystal than risking ice at this point.
Oh, it absolutely makes sense for Techno.
Yeah, and I mean, in Techno's mind, for all we know, the small key is going to be in Blind Cell, and the hammer could be thus on Blind or in the attic.
Yeah.
It's unlikely, but that's where I think this play is coming from.
Yeah, no, this is entirely understandable for Techno, as Vortex is gonna hammer up here and find his bunch of nothing in here. What else? They really need that hammer. As I mentioned earlier in the race that I'd seen a seed recently with hammer on pyramid carry, but we don't even have a lamp for that.
Lamp or mirror. Technically, both of those would be required for a pyramid hammer. So.
Yep. And I think this is Eastern with it combined with the green pendant turned in for Vortex, which makes sense, actually.
Yeah, we hadn't seen that green pendant. This might be the only other thing.
This might well be the only other thing, yes. Because we can't do anything. Yay! $300. Totally useful. I think this is a full clear of Eastern for Vortex since you're here, which makes sense. Unfortunately, we know that this place had nothing.
Yeah, so, and realistically, the hammer is going to be, there's ice, there's TR, and then it's just becoming, we're looking for it.
We can't get into TR. We need a hammer to get in.
And that's the thing. Like, once we get that hammer, we are set in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a big ask right now, apparently.
It really is. It really, really is. I'm starting to wonder if we'll even see a hammer sub hour at this rate. Correct, Stonewix. We are 50 minutes in casual boots, no mirror, no hammer, and no flute. We have all 4 swords, we have all 4 bottles, we have both boomerangs. We even have 2 shields. We have both canes, we just don't have any of those major items that you just listed. And we're down to hammerless ice. It was caneless ice until they dipped Pendant Paw, too. And that is Techno's second crystal here, 53 minutes in. 2 pendants, 2 crystals, and 1 pendant apiece. Vortex is going to be up to 2 pendants soon.
And I
they
would not
both
be
flow
surprised to
cleared
see
through.
Technolink make the same routing decision that Vortex did earlier. And yeah, it looks like we're going to get that purple chest in desert play.
Yep. Yeah, and Vortex doesn't know Pet is dead either, which is another thing. So, desert for Techno. Vortex is in Eastern. And Vortex is going to be done with Eastern before Techno gets out of desert, so we will be Vortex will most likely be the first person into ice. Pet is some money.
Yeah, specifically, I believe it said pocket change.
Yeah, pocket. Yeah, pocket change, I think. Vortex having the fire rod, clearing up that dark room, that room in Eastern a lot faster than Techno was able to. Techno, I think, had a little trouble and reset the room. Yeah, so this will be Quake for Techno, which is still of dubious usefulness. As Vortex is heading for Armos Knights, which we know to be junk. I should know that even with Eastern, we were commenting earlier how Vortex knows Mimic Cliff and so could have bypassed the bow. Well, it's funny because then it just turns out that Kane was bow locked on pod, even if Vortex wanted to do the potion glitch. That's still funny. Very much required bow today. Alright, well, there's Vortex's second pendant. Even though the pet is not required, they will each have basically full cleared their pendant dungeons by the time Techno clears out Landmoose.
Yeah, this is
Oops ADC'd apparently so far.
roughly. I think, if that mirror and lamp show up, definitely would have crossed the mind. But luckily, with TR being one of our reds as well as Swamp, we at least do not have that hammer pyramid fairy.
There is that, yes. Forgot to keep
It can
track of
just
that.
be the flute in the pyramid fairy, so.
Yeah, I forgot that was a bit of a complication as far as what could be Pyramid Fairy, but yes.
And we
Alright.
did see
Ice
the
Palace
other
time.
more common route of Desert Palace from Technolink. Unfortunately, gonna find out that it would have worked out better to just go straight to Landmo.
Yep. It made sense, honestly. Trying to clear out 2 checks on the right side, just not going to pay out. 57 minutes in, we're seeing hammerless ice, everyone. Going to use bomb strats on the Pengators. Now there's the flute.
And I was gonna say, is Vortex gonna just run with this flute to Meyer? But no, he is going to continue into Ice Palace.
Here's the other thing. We don't have logical completion of Meyer because we still don't have a lamp.
And that's really good news for Vortex getting that small key. That does mean he will not be locked here on the icebreaker side of the dungeon.
Yep. Going to have to leave the atrium chest behind. There's the big key. Need to keep track of items a bit here, I think. Chet is chuckling at Spyweaver who called for the flute right before it showed up. There's blue mail is the second item in ice. On the freezer chest. And there's the third item. Oh.
So, Meyer.
Yeah, Meyer. Yeah, French vanilla mill upgrade there. The vanilla, their ice palace does have a mail upgrade in vanilla. Spiny Weaver proceeds to hide. Indeed. I will laugh if it's Mirror in the first chest of, if it's Mirror nice to send you off to the first chest of Swamp.
Ooh, that would have just been rude.
Yeah, hello, Jose, good afternoon. We've got ourselves a very trolly, casual boot seat. It's probably Count Meyer said for Spy Weaver calling Hammer the Meyer area. In Meyer, I'd say Meyer shed like this break
I'm
counts.
saying it's gonna be Mirror in the Meyer area to get us one of the tablets.
Oh god, there's that. If Nero would also get his Hera access, as Vortex is going to check pet. Techno is safe scumming that mushroom, so we'll, since he has already gotten Zora, so might see a big powder from him.
Yeah, unfortunately, just can't do it without Hammer or Mirror yet.
Yeah, eventually, maybe. We are looking for Mirror and Hammer, correct?
And potentially Bombos, depending on our Meyer medallion, but we're about to find out.
Yep. Techno finding out that the green pendant was junk. And that will be that is Quake there for Meyer, alright. Happy 1 hour, everyone. Well, there's Bombos. Helpful. And the lamp.
Hey,
Funny
guess what?
game.
Meyer's in Logic.
Meyer is, in fact, in Logic. Thanks, game. I find it very funny that Lamp and Bombos were both in the Meyer shed. As welcome in Speed...
Yeah.
As is welcome in Speed Gaming 2, rating with a party of 15, we have ourselves a rather trolly casual boot seat today.
Yeah, so we do know that progression has to be here in Meyer. Whether that is the Hammer or the Mirror is the big question.
It was Ether, sorry, I apparently can't see the medallion. In any case, it wasn't an issue even if it had been Bombos, because Bombos was under the doormat. Also, yes, Bombos is in fact fire rod locked. Thanks, game! Fire locked fire. And fire locked light tips. It's a Godmire on a seed where you're still missing items. Very helpful. Vortex giving the hover a try and deciding, yeah. Still looking for both items anyway. Not the worst to miss the hover.
Yeah, I'm very curious if he is going to still clear the front looking for at least one of the other items. Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay, that's a mirror.
Now that's interesting. The question becomes, how much do you want to actually do here?
At least kill Vitreous and see what he has, I suppose.
Now, if you get a key or a dungeon item off of Vidi, are you heading back in to potentially find a hammer here in Meyer?
Might, because I don't know if you want to come back if you don't find, because it's back here, and that mirror only, well, the mirror, let's see, what does the mirror unlock? It unlocks both tablets, Graveyard Ledge, Key 45, and Hera.
So 6 items now, and the first item of Swamp Palace.
Yes, make that 7. Yeah, hammer can't be left side swamp because it can't get to left side swamp without a hammer. And Techno's out of suffice. Burmistrat's here for Vitreous.
Yeah, gonna be a little laggy, but without a ton of health or the cape, that's definitely the safest strategy we had.
It is. And Vitreous has a small key. Alright.
So the question is, will Vortex go back into Misery Mire to find that second item, or are we gonna see mirror checks instead?
We'll find out. Because I could see just clearing it while you're here, or you could just go for other items, both of which make sense.
I think we'll definitely see checkerboard. And yep,
Oh, yeah.
he's gonna gamble.
Alright, we're not going to see that for now. Yeah, that's the thing, exactly, Spy Weaver. Sure, it's only one check, but on the other hand, if you don't check it, you're last locationing it. We'll see what choice Techno chooses to make here. And just a heart container on checkerboard.
I have to imagine at this point, Vortex is gonna head straight for Death Mountain. Yep.
There's no way you don't, because this is 3 of the checks unlocked by that mirror. That's Hera and the Ether Tablet, so that's 3 items. And Hera's a crystal, so there's no reason not to go here.
Yeah, as soon as we get that hammer, we are in go. And luckily that does mean we will be go moding Swamp and Turtle Rock. And Ice even at this point, although we had to do a ton of Ice earlier.
Go mode ice, I put in quotes. Because,
I know.
hey, because it really isn't go mode ice. Turok may be go moded. We'll see what the key layout is there. And there's the hammer. Ether tablet. Thanks, game!
Yeah, and that is go mode. Okay,
Well,
Vortex is going to take this, and this is really informing his route for the rest of this seed. He is going to do Swamp first, head over to Ice Palace, finish that one up, then climb the mountain for TR, and probably go Hera last before heading into GT.
yeah. So, what a fetch quest he had to go into ice. Yeah, you had to go into ice to pick up your flute, to go to Mire to pick up your mirror, to go to and then go up the mountain to go get your hammer to go finish the seed. Oh yeah, and don't forget the fact that the Cadus Mario was in pod just for the fun of it. You get to see a shiny Dragonite now from Technolink. Also, I forgot to mention earlier with the blue mail. Nice to see. And Gilmud Swamp should be nice and quick here for Vortex. They have Gold Swords, they have Blue Mail and the Fire Shield. They don't really care for extra items at this point.
Yeah, we'll probably see the Diver Down checks and maybe even Waterfall chest, but I don't anticipate seeing anything else.
No reason to. These Gold Sword is more than enough for these guys to beat Ganon.
Yeah, I think the only reason you'd be checking more is just for that possibility of maybe you get silvers. I know Vortex is also at no arrows, so just a little benefit. Even half magic would be helpful.
Techno, in fact, actually went over to the upgrade fairy and picked up I think a 1 each of bomb and arrow upgrades, so just for preparation and for refills, not a bad idea.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll get that from Vortex. He's down to no arrows at this point, so
It is one of the
use the
fastest ways
rest of
to
them
get it.
on Vidi.
Mm-hmm.
He also is very familiar with the NMG route, so Vortex does know where some of those arrow pots are.
Correct. Alright. Time for the diver down. Nicely done. And finds, oh, you're not going to turn down the heart container. Man, it's a red blue repeat there. Techno, unfortunately, doesn't have much of any magic left, so it's just gonna do Viti the slow way.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a lot of health to do the damage boost. Gonna have to be careful, though.
Very much so. Oh, it does have a green potion, so it's going to use that and burn us strats now. Which makes sense, actually. Okay, be careful here with Viddy. And there we go.
And we actually almost saw a true zero cycle Argus. I think just a little slight delay there. But really nice Argus kill there for Vortex. And Techno is grabbing that heart container.
I suppose may as well, since you're here. I can see that.
Yeah, probably feeling a little rough about the health situation, only being on that one row of hearts, so. And just as a reminder, this is our Link to the Past Randomizer daily race. Pretty much every weekday, there is at least one race of a pretty random mode. Hopefully being able to be hosted here on Speed Gaming. Today we have Casual Boots. There are 10 total runners in this one, and we are featuring 2 of them with Technolink and Vortex of Doom. As at about 1:11, Technolink is also joining Vortex in Go mode. Vortex heading towards Cold Stare. Probably it looks like, yeah, we're gonna have to see a Bombos just because of the magic usage up to this point, but luckily we did find Bombos earlier.
Yep.
So plenty for that.
Nishu, Techno's gonna go quickly do Swamp. So about the Swamp and run the rice behind Vortex. A couple of minutes here. Difference between the 2 runners. Alright. 1 puff down for Vortex. They use a couple fire rod shots. And there we go.
Yeah, unfortunately the puff's getting a little bit away from him there, so had to be a little careful. Only down to 3 hearts.
We're seeing the bomb diver down here from Techno. There we go. And it's not even going to bother checking the diver down chests. As mentioned, doesn't really need it.
Yeah, at this point we are pretty well equipped. You know, it's just a question of, do you want any safeties?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, Techno with Gold Sword, Blue Mail, 11 Hearts doesn't really feel like he needs it. How good is TR today? Because ideally they would like to be able to skip the lava chest of vanilla big key chest, and then we'll see what the key layout is on as far as when you need to do laser bridge.
Technolink does take down Argus for another one of our crystals, so just an ice palace behind and just that additional mountain climb, really.
Yep. Alright, there's a big key and a small key, a fire rod locked in TR, so they're going to be able to bypass the lava chest today. Or they will at least choose to skip it. It's very rare that you have to backtrack for it. I don't remember the odds offhand, but it's not much.
What, for big chest? Was that?
Yeah.
I believe I've heard it's about a 4% chance. It is very exceedingly rare.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I still wouldn't do it in the hopes that it is a small key and then I have enough that I can skip laser bridge.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was catching up a little bit on Discord. So that's sidetracked for a second.
So Technolink hitting that switch in Ice Palace. Gonna head over to the Icebreaker for the second time. Meanwhile, Vortex getting that pokey key, making sure not to hit the switch. And there's our fun bunny sprite.
Yep, I gotta say, love the full voice there. Hopefully we'll get to see the Dratini. I do like to see the bunny sprites, and since Moonpearl is often pretty early, it's not very common we see those bunny sprites. So the getting bunny beamed in TR is probably one of the more common ways to see it. I believe it's a Dratini for the Dragonite sprite. So
Yeah.
Vortex is also skipping the big chest in TR.
Yeah, as we said, 4% chance it's not going to work out, but at that point, you believe this is going to be fine.
Okay, there's a heart piece.
Vortex is going to take that refill here. Not so much for the magic, just because you're going to be able to get the magic before Trinex, but definitely for a little bit of health just in case.
Yeah, pretty decent cold stare fight for Techno. And that is his 5th crystal there. Oof, Vortex taking a fall on Laser Bridge. Another red rupee.
Oh,
and
we
it
are
was
bailed
small
out.
key.
A vanilla small key on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I was getting a little nervous there about that small key. Seeing 3 chests with not keys. Techno gonna pick up some potions here. Yeah, it's 4 bottles and a lot of money, so might as well.
Yeah, and while this is usually our 7th crystal, Vortex does still have to clear Tower of Hera right after this. So this is going to be crystal number 6, as Vortex does go for that 0 cycle, and I think we've got it. Yep, nice 0 cycle on Trinex there.
Very nicely done. Pretty quick second phase as well.
Yeah, a little scary there, taking that damage, but still able to get through it for $300.
Yeah. And his 6th crystal. Now, they could have done Hero when they just after breaking up their hammer, but they're just getting around to it with GT because it's nice and quick with a mirror. And actually, let's do a couple shoutouts here. Shoutouts to our 2 runners on Restream today, Technolink and Vortex of Doom, to my co-com, Radical Sniper, and to our tracker, the Hidden Duke.
It has been a pleasure working with you today, Star.
As always, thank you. Always a pleasure to work with you. We've worked together a couple of times before.
And I know there was a lot of questions about this earlier today. There will be at least 1 race as part of the main tourney later today. I'll just make sure and verify that time. Yeah, today at 6:10 p.m. over on Speed Gaming, there will be a game between, it looks like it's game 1 between Dante and Zelga Dasan as part of the main tourney. So do be sure to check that one out as well.
Oh, absolutely. Their game 2 is scheduled for tomorrow at the same time, and if needed, their 3rd game will be on Friday at the same time.
Yeah, they went for a lot of consistency. We are nearing the end of the main tourney, so that's why you're seeing a lot less races in that mode. So definitely check it out. Really high quality runners. You know, we're down to the semis at this point, so.
And we aren't seeing the Challenge Cup is also wrapping up. On the other hand, the Cross Keys tournament is starting up soon. They've got a humongous Cross Keys tourney this year. I think they bumped the cap all the way to 192.
Yeah, and
so
it's
that
going to
should
be an
fun.
8-week Swiss for that one. So
That's going to be very interesting. I look forward to commentating and restreaming actually some of those. That'll be over on the ZSR family of networks mostly.
yeah, so if you want to see bunny sprites, you'll get plenty of bunny sprite action as part of Cross Keys.
Yep, because those are far, far more common when you have crossword connectors.
So Vortex entering into Ganon's Tower. We did get a few guesses. I know it was super quick, but that's just the nature of Hera being your 7th crystal. You don't even have a run time, really.
Nope. I mean, I suppose if we really wanted to run the guess, we would have had to do so while Vortex did Hera. Did he do Hope Room? Because I missed it.
No, he skipped Hope. I think this might be a Dark Magician strat.
This looks like it might be, yes, because he's not killing Stalfos. Doesn't matter, because there's the big key in key number 5. And I'll check number 5. Yeah, Russius is going to be fun.
Yeah, especially there was a new glitch actually found that has been cleared for Cross Keys use.
Yep, a little thing that you can use to clip back through the basically coming from the hammer peg side of the rock block between hammer pegs and village of outcasts, in case you had take a connector that gets you stuck on the other side of hammer pegs without hits. Very recently approved for the Cross Keys tourney. Doesn't have much applications in non-entrance rando since you would need bits to get over there anyway, but it's rather nice.
So Vortex is into the gauntlet now, while Technolink is nearing the back of Turtle Rock.
Oh, good question. How many cycles for the first runner in AGA 2? Is 2 or 3? Meaning doubles and triples, or 4 or more? I would say we're probably going to see at least 3, 4 It'd probably go with 4 or more, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Given what I know of Vortex, I would say I wouldn't be surprised to see a triple, or like a 3 cycle. Unfortunately, that 2 cycle is just so AGA dependent.
It very much is, because that requires 2 triples.
Yeah, and not only do you need no blue balls on the second run, you also need decent looking patterns.
Yeah, because econometry is a thing.
Yeah, but really nice land mode 2 there with the 1 cycle. Vortex is a very practiced NMG runner, so like this is, he's better equipped than he normally is for NMG runs.
Yep. Yeah, even 3 cycles are AGA dependent to a lesser degree, which is why I personally went with 4 cycle. Yeah, 4 more cycles on AGA 2. We'll see what it ends up being. I think the patterns are I forget. Are the patterns consistent between runners in the same seed?
Yes. You don't always get to see it just because of how, you don't often get 2 runners fighting AGA at the same time, but all those fights are seeded. Or at least the AGA fights, the Ganon warps for the first run. So all that kind of stuff is seeded to start.
Yep, which is very nice, since you can see this a lot with vanilla speedruns, where AGA RNG makes a difference a good chunk of the time it runs. Nice quick first phase of Trinex also for Techno.
And Vortex checking those chests inside the Many Helma room. Really smart play there. That worked out nicely, giving that heart piece for the free refill.
Yep, never gonna complain about that. As Techno here finishes up Trinex and is gonna claim his 6th crystal at the 26-minute mark here. So, about a GT and AGA behind at this point, since we're
It's going to be pretty much a full GT,
late.
as Techno Link does still have to clear Hera, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
I said
surprised to
GT and
see...
AGA. So yeah, full GT. Though at least he won't be able to. He should get that big key pretty early, since it's just in the Dark Magician room. All right, AGA time. It's not the nicest of patterns. Okay, that's a single. I think that was a double.
Yeah, that looked like a double. And this one, who...
That's a single. Yeah, yep. That's a 4. Those were some terrible patterns. Another single. And there we go.
Yeah, that's 1, 2, a 5 cycle. 2. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1.
Yeah, not nice for AGA today. Yikes.
So the only thing we're gonna get to find out is, where were silver arrows? I'm gonna guess they were in GT somewhere, but
most likely we saw most everything else, bar a couple checks in TR, the second item in Meyer.
Most of Swamp.
I don't remember if we've seen all the items in Pod. Yeah, there's not much left in the game. Considering
getting that hammer took a long time.
It really did.
So with that gold sword, the 1-in-1 for Ganon is pretty trivial. Just has to be a little bit careful here, but just weaving through the bats.
Yeah, where were silvers? I'll probably go with GT here. Hey, couple people in chat joking about how Vortex cost him a bunch of points by not getting a 3-cycle AGA with some dreadful patterns. That's not Vortex's fault. That's just the game being rude of patterns. And nope, silvers were indeed in GT.
Okay, and this is, I have to point this out. I know he's been working on it. I believe that was a like that was 2 spins before the torch went
That is
out
very nice.
on that first start. That is really like, that is partly Ganon dependent, but also like that is a ton of practice that went into that. And there we go. There is that final spin in on Ganon. So all that's left for Vortex is to cross that 1x3 bridge and finish out this seed.
Yep, first on restream, we'll see what his finish is in the overall race of 10. Here, as he finishes up. All right, this is third place, getting sniped by Structural Mike, 129.44. First place was Scarlet, 124.22. Second was Structural Mike, 129.39. GG's.
And soon after Vortex's completion, we also did see Adirondack Rick finish with a 130.41.
I was going to wait a bit because the restream has like a minute or so delay behind the race room.
And we will see if we can get Vortex in to talk a little bit about this one.
Yep, pretty interesting seed, very bottlenecked. As we watch Techno climb GT. Selection rate's probably not going to be too terrible just because of just how much that hammer locks. We'll see what it ends up being. As Animus 2 is down for Techno. Oh, have you not received the, right, reminder to our tracker to mark Vortex is finished in the tracker application. Yep, there we go. Vortex should shortly be getting the invite. We have to mark that Vortex is finished on the restream in order for the bot to send the invite, and there he is. GG's, Vortex.
GG. Yeah, was an interesting one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you know, late hammer, that's always the most fun, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, about that chain of items. You had to get flute, to get mirror, to get hammer.
Yeah,
Chain
so
was pendant pod.
I actually, if I hadn't done desert, I would have done ice right after pod. I almost did it instead of pod, but then I got the bow. So I was like, well, I feel like it'd be a little silly to dip to go to ice with pod and Eastern Open when it's probably the lamp in ice.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure something was there with the early mitts, flippers, fire rod. Like they were all like either sphere 1 or just free in the dark world. But the more the seed went on, the more I was like, yeah, it's probably just mountain access. And like if it was flute, that'd be a big deal, but I wasn't gonna rush it.
So we did get to see a little bit of a different opener for this kind of casual boots. Technolink doing the more traditional start, you know, do you want to go into kind of, I don't know if a lot of people have seen this opener for casual boots. I know a lot of people are starting to do this. Do you want to discuss it a little bit?
I don't know. It's just it lets you take care of a couple quick checks, and they are really quick when you water walk from over by Lost Woods. You can get Ice Ride Cave and Waterfall pretty easily, and that frees you up to do like Agina, and if you get some value out of it, even better. It did make me kind of Orphan Zora, and I realized as soon as I had Zora money when I did South Shore right after that that was kind of risky. But if I had decided to just keep Zora orphaned, this would have been a Mimic Clip seed.
Yep.
But
Mimic
Vote
Cave
probably
and also
takes some time.
Potion Glitch with that cane on right side of pod.
But yeah, I mean, I was pretty happy about the route overall. Like obviously Desert and Eastern didn't pay out even a little, but I mean, I routed them in pretty efficiently, and I think it made some sense to go there and commit to them when I had gone in. I think Eastern was the most questionable. Like Desert, I cleared extremely efficiently. Like I was like, well, I'm gonna get Green Pendant while I'm here. And so I just like went straight to the boss with the big key, not even getting the small. So I got both items and everything. But Eastern, since I didn't turn in the Green Pendant right away, like maybe I should have stuck to my guts and gone Ice first, but I don't know.
Yeah. I do want to point out, you know, some of the highlights, I guess, for your run. Really great boss execution today. We got to see some. I believe you almost had the 0 cycle on Argus. Unfortunately, I think it was just a little late.
Got
So,
that
like,
cycle, yep.
Then was that a double spin to start Ganon phase 4?
No,
was that
I
two
missed
hits?
the first one. I missed the
Okay.
first one, I think.
It did look
well,
like you
actually,
got
I don't
two
know.
in.
Because I recoiled, but I didn't hear the hit sound.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was like an untimed spin or like just a
And I
really nice
missed-
hit.
I missed a couple in between, so I wasn't actually keeping as close of count as I should have. But yeah, it was a pretty okay Ganon fight.
Mm-hmm. And GG's here to Techno finishing up. Going to take 7th place overall with a time of 1:36.53. GG's also to Scottish Brave and Airship finishing up 5th and 6th, 1:35.04 and 1:35.58. We'll see if Techno wants to join us for an interview.
As we're also
30
getting
ball. Can't say I'm surprised. And with that late hammer, yeah, 146 collection rate. It makes sense, especially because you skipped a lot of GT today.
Yeah, that's still a pretty decent collection rate. Not too high for how late that hammer was and how late we got to go mode.
Yeah, we also got to skip a lot. Like like the 4 chests I opened in Ice were the big key and 3 items, which was 5, I guess, because I opened the big key chest was a small key.
Right.
Also, hey, Technolink, GG's.
GG's. It was a seed.
For her was.
Yeah.
Um,
So
You both basically did Oops AD on this one.
yeah. I was assuming that my Death Mountain access was going to be in Ice Palace, like it'd be either the lamp or the flute.
Yo, same.
So I decided, well, let's just put off Ice Palace and do everything I can that isn't, especially after only finding the book on the mountain. So I tried to do deserts. It had nothing. tried to do some other stuff. It had nothing, and then went into ice, found the flute, found the lamp at Shed, and that's pretty much the seed. And if you did it correctly, you could have definitely gotten a 115 on this one.
Definitely, yeah. I almost went to ice instead of pod, and I actually I turned in the mushroom from Landmo. I went up to Zora. I was gonna just run back down and go into the portal, but then I got the bow, and I was like, I think it would be silly not to, since I had been in Eastern and pod at all.
Yeah,
And I almost went after pod too, but I still had the green pendant to turn in, so I didn't.
Mirror was in Meyer, right? The front of Meyer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
I skipped the second item.
yeah, same here. I was like, the moment I got the mirror, it felt like, okay, somewhere in this world there has to be a hammer that I can hit pegs with and other stuff. Like those things that pop up and down in Ice Palace. It has to be somewhere, but it's not in Meyer. Although, then again, I got burned by Meyer the last week every single time, so... but yeah, it was definitely one of those seeds where going out of logic actually hurt you more than it helped you. Because of that book. Because it was the biggest red hair.
Sort of,
except
yeah.
for,
I mean,
well,
yeah.
to be fair.
Like,
yeah.
it was Hammer Go, so like the book. Yeah, the book going to desert. Right.
Yes.
I only
And
did middle chest, torch, and Landmo though in desert. I skipped right side.
yeah. My execution was very bad today. It was not fun. I was looking at it and I was like, Thieves Town, that felt so good when I got the God Pixel. But dying on the way to Ice Rod Cave, I was fake flippering from Hobo. That hurt. I got the bow really early, so I full cleared Eastern. Stuff like that, and it just adds up over the seed. Especially in such a possible fast seed like this one.
Mm-hmm.
But well, that's rando for you. I was very disappointed when I read the bet. It was like,
same. I did it right after activating flute. I was like, well, please mirror be here, but.
Did you also go to Hype Cave before Skullwoods?
No, I had flippers already. I dipped front, and then I went.
Yeah.
But I had skipped Thieves Town. I realized as I went in, I should have skipped it because I was like probably not going to do Thieves Town because I had the book. I was like, well, I'd like to do Purple Chest into Desert eventually if like nothing else shows up. So I should have just gone to Hype first, and that would have worked out really well.
Yeah.
I still had to walk out from back of Skullwoods again.
I like going to Hype early when you only have mids because you can't really get to Hype easily.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you can.
I mean, then again,
dip.
though, like
Yeah.
I do like dipping. Like if Hammer's just in front, you can like do a lot more.
True.
But
well.
But I guess if you're taking the Smith and kind of committing to turning it in, because it's not like I was gonna like abandon the Smith and Pod that early, like because I didn't have the bow still, because I orphaned Zora immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
So
yeah, I had a lot of money at the
Smith
start.
inside. I think waiting.
It was
Waiting
it
would have
was an
made more
interesting
sense.
season. Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Like you
I
could
felt
go.
pretty good, even though like all I had, like I'd done everything in the game before Hammer, other than the mirror checks, just because I was like, well, I've been efficient and I've been executing okay overall. So
Yeah, I felt good with the efficiency as well. I mean, 150 and still getting a 130 is like I feel like I didn't orphan anything in this seed because I was able to, like you said, do the into Hype Cave, into Turning Smith, do Skullwoods because of the Fire Rod, find the flippers, go straight to Pod, find the cane, be like, yes, I found the cane, I hope no one else does. But yeah, the front of you could have completely been sent in the wrong direction due to say if you found if you went into Mire early, like you found a flute, then you flew to Mire, because I believe the mids were actually available early. And then you find the mirror in Mire, mirror up the mountain, find the hammer, and then it's done. Like, you're never going to finish within 140 unless you go straight
really
for
have to
Pod
have-
after.
You really have to have Cane before you get Flute for the seed to be really, really jet, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually considering doing the Waterworld glitch from Skull Woods had I not found the flippers.
Oh wow, so you were you had the bow early, so you were fairly committed to Pod. I kind of like that. And you did you do Thieves Town your first trip into Village?
I did the first 4, and then I left Thieves Town for a long while because I knew, okay, either it's hammerlocked or it actually was hammerlocked because of the fact that we didn't find the small key.
Yeah.
But it felt like, okay, I'm already feeling behind because of my poor execution at times. So I might as well take the gamble into Pod and hope to gain some time there. And it turned out correctly, because if I actually went with my original plan, which was diving into ice and seeing what I could get there, well, it would have been bad.
Did you go further in ice after the flute, or did you just?
I found a mill and another item.
Okay, yeah. So you just kept going. Did you icebreaker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
That worked out really well.
Yeah, you just got all the items in one go, least amount of checks, and then the next time you can just go straight into the boss, and it's completely fine. But I think I churned through about 6 potions this seed, and that's really bad.
I only used the free ones. I opened the chest on the top of GT because I was on like 4 hearts and didn't have anything in my bottles that would refill health. So I got a refill out of it though. It worked out.
That
Alright.
clutch refill.
Yeah, it was. I probably just would have taken a Ganon hug if I hadn't gotten one. But
Also, I found it very funny when I was actually entering the after the dark part of Mire. I was low on health, so I also ran out of magic because my spooky glitch didn't activate. So I had a mushroom and a cane. I decided to make powder on the spot.
Chat love that.
I was thinking of save scamming the mushroom and Zora money, but I ended up getting the bow and was like, well, I can't save scum that now. So
Well, you could, but
I could. Okay, bows in logic. Let's mimic clip pod.
well, technically,
Armos doesn't have anything.
the second bow was in GT. So if you did that, you would have.
Yeah,
It would have been
I'd have
possible.
had to mimic clip the climb, but
No, it wasn't on the climb. The bow was in the basement.
well, I mean, I wouldn't have gone looking for it if I went
Okay.
first like I did. But I don't think I'd have gotten second place or third place. Dang it, Mike.
You got sniped.
I did get sniped.
Yeah, he did.
In any case, I love casual boot seats just because they are so chill and relaxed in comparison to the others. Speaking of which, I need to sign up for something before it's too late. I think you know what.
Yeah, I was about to say that sign up is just about over.
well, I am the odd one out at the moment, so.
It'll go on for a little longer, yeah. Unfortunately, I can't bail you out of this one, so.
No. All right. I'm going to. Do you have any further questions while I prepare for the setup for Koski's?
I think that's it for me. Good luck if you do find someone to race for your cross keys ladder. Yeah, And let's go do a couple quick shoutouts now. Let's thank you to both of our runners on Restream today, Technolink and Vortex, to my co-commentator Radical Sniper 99, and to our tracker, the Hidden Duke, for keeping up behind the scenes.
Just as a reminder, since we did have an 8th place finish from Signums at 1:48.56, we still have also 2 other runners still going. Also, thank you to Star today. It has been a pleasure.
As always.
And of course, remember to follow Speed Gaming's 1 through 6. And if you're looking for more Link to the Past Randomizer, the schedule for the daily races, of course, was just posted. And there is a race as part of the semifinals of the main tourney coming up later today at 6:10 p.m. So do be able to check that out. We are getting down to the end of what has been an amazing tourney for this year. So do check that one out.
That'll be it for us today. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good afternoon and evening.